Okay, so let us see how to use this, how to declare a pointer, because we want to combine our pointers concept into our program. So let us see how to declare a pointer and how an address of a variable can be assigned to a pointer variable. All these things we'll see now. Okay, so pointer variable must be declared. So whenever this is the basic thing you all know, because whenever you are using a normal variable also, it has to be declared first, isn't it or not? Same way, whenever you want to use any pointer variable, you need to first declare that one. I think you all know what actually a pointer is. You all know the definition of a pointer. I'm repeating once again, pointer is nothing but a variable which will be holding the address. It will not hold the normal value. It will be holding the address of another variable. Okay, and to assign a variable, to assign that address, you need to first declare that one. What is the general form for declaring that one? You need to specify the data type. You need to use a star symbol here, and then you need to use any name. Remember why we are giving the star? Because to make the compiler understand the difference between the normal variable and a pointer variable. Suppose if you write like this, let me show you. If you are writing like this, int a, then it is nothing but it is a normal variable which can hold any value of integer data type. But for this, I'll write one example. Let me take one data type int. And if I write a pointer variable star, and you need to write any name, you can give any name for your understanding. P I will be writing. Okay. So if you see, there is a difference between this declaration and this declaration. Here, A is a normal variable which will be holding a value of integer data type. But here, P is not a normal variable. Why? Because it has been preceded with star at the time of declaration. That means P is now called as a pointer variable which can hold the address of any variable, and that variable should be of integer data type only. For your understanding, I'll tell you once again. Here, A is a normal variable which will be holding any value of integer data type. But here P is not a normal variable. Why? Because we have preceded the declaration with a star symbol, making P as a pointer variable, and now P is capable of storing only addresses. In that way, we will be telling the compiler the difference between the normal variable and a pointer variable. Make a note of this one, all of you. Star. You need to put star in front of that variable name, simply converting that normal variable to a pointer variable. Pointer variable means we don't want to store any value. We want to store address into that pointer variable. So here three things are specified in the above thing. First one is star. Star tells like it is not a normal variable, it is a pointer variable. Okay. And the second thing is pointer name. Pointer name, whenever you are giving like this, that is nothing but again for this P, one more new memory location will be allocated, that we have already learned in our previous thing. Okay. So whenever you are writing like this, for this pointer name also, whatever name you give in our example P, for P also one memory location will be allocated. That means for A, one memory location will be given, and for P also one memory location will be given. And one more thing is pointer name, whatever you give P, that will be holding the address of which variable. That variable should be of the same data type only. I'll show you in the previous like future slides what is the meaning of this statement in detail. But remember, all of you, make a note of this one. Pointer variable, whatever you are storing, that will be holding the address of a variable which will be of same data type only. So what is the meaning of this one is, some examples are we can declare like this, int star. These are the pointers. These two are pointer variables. That means now count can store the address of another variable, and that variable should be of integer data type only. Similarly, speed can store the address of any variable, and that variable should be of float data type only. So I'll show you one example. Let us consider int star p and xyz. What is the meaning of that one? Xyz is holding a value and p is holding the address of a variable which is of integer data type only. Now you can store xyz address into p. So to do that task, we can write like this: p equal to ampersand fxyz, and this is legal. Why? Because P is a pointer variable, we can store the address, that is okay. First case is satisfied, and P data type and XYZ data type are also matching. So this statement is legal statement. Okay, so this is how pointers are initialized. Initialization is nothing but assigning the value. So how we can assign the value? By simply writing p, whatever pointer variable we are taking, p equal to ampersand of xyz. That means whatever memory, whatever value address is given to xyz, that will be stored in the p. So this is your initialization. Right? So always whenever you are doing initialization, here you need to make a note of this one. The third point what I have highlighted there. Suppose you have declared a variable as float x and pointer variable as int p, int star p. Now if you are trying to write like this is illegal because the data type of p, that means we are telling like p can hold the address of a variable and that variable should be of integer data type, but we are trying to store the address of a float one. Are you observing here? That means we are trying to store the float value and float variable address into a integer pointer variable. So this is completely an error statement. We should not write like this. Whenever you try to do like this, you will get an error. Always, if you want to store the address of x into p, either both should be float or both should be int. Are you understanding? That is what we have done in the earlier slide. Both are of integer data type. That's why we didn't get any error here. But if you are trying to store like this, then both should be of integer data type or both should be of float data type. So whenever you are declaring a statement like this for a pointer variable, what it is telling is we want to store the address of another variable and that variable should be of integer data type only. So make a note of this one. And directly I told you, while declaring a pointer, directly we should not write any value like this. This is illegal. Address should not be directly assigned. Address should not be directly assigned to the pointer variable. If you want to assign the address, we need to assign the address by using this statement only. We cannot directly assign. That means we can't forcefully tell to the pointer like you store only this address value only. That is not at all possible. So these two statements you need to remember all of you whenever you are working with the pointers. Okay, so once a variable value has been assigned, that means p equal to ampersand of xyz is assigned, then how can we access the value of that one? See here, I have declared two variables a and b, and I have declared one pointer variable p, and I have stored the. Now what happens? I'll tell you with example. This is a, this is b. Follow carefully, all of you, and we are declaring one more pointer variable p. Now A and B can store a normal value, but P can store only the address. Why? Because we have declared like this. Now can we write P equal to ampersand of A? We can write because both are of integer data type only. Let us consider A is holding a value of 10. Now let us consider this address is 300. For your understanding, let me take 300. Now whenever you are writing P equal to ampersand of A, what happens? In P, address of A will be stored, isn't it or not? This is what the statement tells. That means P will be holding the value of 300 whenever you write this statement. Now come to this statement. This is new statement for you. B equal to star P. Whenever you write star P, not at the time of declaration, not at the time of declaration. Other than declaration, whenever you write star P, what do you mean by that one? Value at P. What do you mean by value at the address P? That means star P is nothing but star of, what is P? P is nothing but 300. Now, whenever you write star of 300 is nothing but value at 300. What is value at 300? Value at 300 is 10. This is nothing but 10. That means 10 will be stored in our B. Now, B will be holding the value of 10. Are you understanding? Star P is nothing but star of P value is 300. Star 300 is nothing but value at 300. What is value at 300? Which is 10. And that we are assigning to P and that B and that we are storing in B. So these statements are simply nothing but we are assigning A value to B directly. But instead of doing that one, what I have done here, I have used a pointer variable. I have used a pointer variable, all of you. Note down this one, all of you. What we have done, we have assigned a value to B using the pointer variable. So see. So let me erase these things. So this statement, whatever we have written here, is equivalent to assigning a b value to a. Instead of writing directly like this, I have just used a pointer concept. Got it, all of you? Understood? So if you want to, if you are writing like this, that means you are storing the address of A into P. If you are writing star P is nothing but once this statement is done, then only you can write star P. In that case, what you can do, you are getting the value stored at that location. So this is equivalent to B of A. So let me show you one simple example. Follow carefully, all of you, what this statement is. Now, we are declaring, now what is C value here? C value is 5 here, right? 4 star 5 plus 5. Now come here, what we have done, we have stored the address of C into P. That means let us consider C value is 5 and this is 300, let us consider. And now P value is stored with what is we have done ampersand of C, which is nothing but we are storing 300 into C. Now come to this statement. B equal to 4 star. What do you mean by star P? Can any one of you tell me what do you mean by star P? Any one of you? What do you mean by star P? Very good. Star P is nothing but star of 300. Star P is nothing but, I'll write here, star of 300. What do you mean by star of 300? That means star of 300 is nothing but value at 300. What is value at 300? 5. That means this complete statement will be replaced with 5. So if you see, these two statements are same or not? These two statements are same or not? So we can do an operation like this or we can do the operation like this also if you are using the pointers concept. That means if you see the statement, this statement whatever you are doing and this statement whatever you are doing, here you are using normal variable and here you are using a pointer variable. Got it? So what is the use of doing like this is the value that will be if you are doing using pointers, it will be accessed a little bit fast. So both are same and both are giving the same value. Now let us see the earlier program of accessing. This program is very important. I want you all guys to understand this one. Listen carefully, all of you. What we have done here is we want to access the value of x using a normal variable and using a pointer variable. I want you people to tell me the output of this each and every line of code. Now what we have done, declare x and y, declared one pointer variable. Follow carefully. X value is given as 10. Okay. Now P is a pointer variable. Why? Because we have declared star. And in P, we can store the address of x because both are of integer data type. Let us consider the address of x is 300. Now, in P, we are trying to store the address of x, which is equal to 300. Now, we have one more variable called y. And can you tell me what will be the value of y? What will be the value of y? Y equal to star PTR. What do you mean? This is PTR, not P. This is PTR. What is the value of star PTR? Star of 300. What do you mean by star of 300? Star of 300 is nothing but your value is 10. Very good. 10. These three things clear, all of you? Up to here is clear to all of you? This allocation and all. Now come here. Percentage D. That means your first value x. This statement you will get x. X, what is the value of x? 10. So this statement you will get 10 is stored in the location. What is ampersand x? 300. So the first line is stored in the location 300. Your first line of code is 10 is stored in 300. Got it? Now coming to the second line. Can you tell me what will be the output of your second line? Star of ampersand x. What do you mean by star of ampersand x? What is star of ampersand x? Star of, what is ampersand x? Ampersand x is your address 300. So star of 300 is, what do you mean by that one? Star of 300 is nothing but 10. So this will be your 10 again is, you will get that line stored at location ampersand of x. What do you mean by ampersand of x? That is 300. Observe here how we are referring. We are referring 10 value using normal x. You are using star of ampersand x. That is also okay. Come to the third line. What is star PTR? You already know star PTR is nothing but 10 is stored in memory location. PTR is nothing but PTR is holding a value of 300. Got it? So observe these three lines of code. These three lines of code are giving the same line, same output, but the way you are using is different. First one is by using a normal variable x, and second one is by using star in combination with ampersand of x, and third one is by using your star PTR. Observe the difference, all of you. All these three are giving the same value 10, but the way you are using is different. First way is using the normal variable. Second way is using star and ampersand x. Third way is using star PTR. And if you see here we are using ampersand x, and here you are using pointer. So you need to understand these three lines of code. So we can say a normal variable value can be accessed by using the variable itself or by using the pointer variable itself, provided that you need to store the address of that x into this pointer variable. Got it? Can you tell me the output of these three lines of code? These three lines of code, can you tell me? Any one of you? These three lines of code, what can you do? What is the y value? Y value is again 10. 10 is stored in location. Star of ampersand of PTR, can you tell me? What is star PTR? Star PTR is star PTR is 10, and 10 is stored at memory location, whatever it is stored, that you will get. Okay, let me show you the output. So I already told you this line and this statement both are same. That is what represented here. And this you already know, address of x equal to ampersand of star of PTR, which is both are same, isn't it or not? Okay. So if you see, this is the output. I got this address, these three lines of address that is allocated in the memory. So whatever you get, you see for the first three lines, you are getting the same line of code or not? What we have observed. We have taken 300 as our address, but our address is, when you compile in your system, you may get different address, but for me, I got this address. Okay, so this is how a variable value and an address can be accessed by using your pointer variable. All of you note down this program and run this program and check what are all the different possibilities. Star PTR equal to 25. What do you mean by this one? Star PTR equal to 25. What do you mean by star PTR? Star of 300. Star of 300. What is stored in 300? I already told you in 300, x value we are storing, which is earlier it is 10. Now, if I'm writing star of 300 equal to 25, that means what happens is 10 has been removed and it will store with 25. Not y value, it is x value. Because PTR is pointing to x, not it is pointing to y. It is pointing to x. So if you try to change the value at 300 memory location, 300 memory location is pointed by x. So you will be getting new value. So that's why you can see the last one, x value is 25. Okay. Understand all of you? This is how pointer values can be declared and initialized. So with this, we'll come to an end of our today's class. And if you have any doubts, let me know, all of you.